The Cleveland Browns coaching search has officially spiraled into a total nightmare, and the latest whispers coming out of ESPN are enough to make your jaw drop. Is Deion Sanders actually the wildcard that saves this franchise? We are seeing top-tier candidates like John Harbaugh and Grant Udinski sprint in the opposite direction, leaving this team in a state of absolute desperation that nobody saw coming. If the front office is truly ready to throw in the towel on a traditional hire, could primetime be the only man left to turn this circus into a powerhouse? Before we break down this absolute madness, do me a huge favor, smash the like button, share this with every frustrated fan you know, and subscribe so you never miss a single update on this coaching search. The silence coming out of Cleveland right now is deafening, and honestly, it's starting to get a little scary. Why haven't we heard a single official word on who is leading this team next year? We've seen other organizations lock down their guys, but here we are, sitting on our hands while the best options evaporate. It leads to one massive, polarizing question that is taking over social media: should the front office actually pick up the phone and call Deion Sanders? Seriously, if we are this uncertain and the current search is hitting a brick wall, would you be okay with a primetime era in Cleveland? I want you to go down to the comments right now, type Y for yes if you want that call made, or type N for no if you think it's a disaster waiting to happen. Get those votes in because the rumors are reaching a fever pitch. This whole Deion conversation caught fire on First Take, and it's not just random talk anymore. Former NFL star Pac-Man Jones, who was actually tight with Deion, dropped a massive truth bomb. He said if Sanders ever makes the jump to the league, it would have to be a situation where he can coach his son, Shedeur Sanders. Now, we know Deion has said in the past he doesn't want to coach adults or deal with the NFL grind, but think about the logic here. If the Browns are looking at a total reset, and Shedeur, who started games as a rookie for us last year, is the future, does that change the entire DNA of this team? It's the ultimate what-if scenario that has the league losing its mind. But let's get real for a second. Even Stephen A. Smith, who wants to see Deion succeed, admitted that the resume might not actually warrant a head coaching gig in the NFL yet. And look, I get that. On paper, it's a massive gamble. But let me ask you this, where are we at right now? We are watching candidate after candidate pull out. Grant Udinski decided he'd rather stay in Jacksonville as an offensive coordinator with a pay raise than take a promotion in Cleveland. John Harbaugh didn't even give us a second look before the Giants threw the kitchen sink at him. Even Mike McDaniel would apparently rather be an OC elsewhere than deal with the current state of the Browns. It is brutal out there. So, here is the controversial question of the day for all of you watching: if every safe candidate rejects us, would you rather settle for promoting our defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz just to play it safe, or would you rather burn it all down and hire Deion Sanders just to bring some life, energy, and massive ratings back to this stadium? Is a 7-10 season under a safe hire better than a wild, unpredictable ride with Coach Prime? Drop your thoughts below because this is splitting the fan base right down the middle. The reality is, if the Browns truly loved Nate Scheelhaase or were sold on Jim Schwartz, we would have an announcement by now. You don't sit through a marathon interview with a young offensive mind like Scheelhaase and then just stay silent unless you have serious doubts. It feels like the front office is settling, and that is a dangerous place to be. Promoting Schwartz feels like a consolation prize because the plan of guys like Harbaugh and Udinski didn't want the job. What kind of message does that send to the locker room? Hey, we tried to find someone better, but nobody wanted us, so here's the guy who was already in the building. That isn't how you build a winning culture, that's how you manage a decline. And let's talk about those Shedeur Sanders rumors. There's been talk that Shedeur's situation is what ultimately doomed Kevin Stefanski. If you hire Deion, you are fully committing to Shedeur as your franchise guy. Is Cleveland ready for that? If this does come to fruition, those rumors that teams passed on Shedeur because they didn't want the prime effect in their building will heat back up. But again, look at the state of things. If you're throwing in the towel anyway, why not? It all depends on if they actually believe in these young minds like Scheelhaase, or if they're just too scared to pull the trigger on something bold. The names currently on the finalist list, Jim Schwartz, Nate Scheelhaase, Todd Monken, and Anthony Lynn, don't exactly scream revolution. We're hearing reports that the team is trying to pair people together, like forcing Monken and Schwartz into a marriage, or trying to convince Scheelhaase to work under Schwartz as the DC. But why would a rising star take that deal when he could just go to the Bills or stay with the Rams and wait for a better opening? It feels like we are trying to fit square pegs into round holes because we've lost leverage in the coaching market. Even more interesting is how much is happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. We just found out the Arizona Cardinals did a secret, in-person interview with Ron Rivera that nobody saw coming. Josina Anderson has reported that there are at least 11 interviews happening across the league that aren't even public yet. This tells me that the Deion to Cleveland idea might not be as far-fetched as the critics think. If Anthony Lynn can get a surprise interview just to satisfy the Rooney Rule or explore new options, who's to say the Browns haven't already sent a private jet to Colorado? If this search continues to drag on, the pressure on the front office is going to become unbearable. Every day that passes without a head coach is a day we fall behind in free agency prep and draft scouting. We are at a crossroads. We can either settle for a safe hire that keeps us in mediocrity, or we can take a massive, swinging for the fences gamble on a personality that changes the gravity of the entire league. It's a tough pill to swallow, knowing we weren't the first choice for the big names, but that's the reality of where this organization stands right now. I want to hear your final predictions.
Before you head out, drop the name of the person you think will actually be standing at the podium for the introductory press conference. Is it the safe bet in Jim Schwartz? The young gun Nate Scheelhaase? Or is it the shock of the century with Deion Sanders? Get those predictions in now, and make sure you're following me on all my social platforms for all the short-form breakdowns and highlights. I'll be tracking every flight, every interview, and every rumor until this deal is done. Don't miss the next update. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.